Uh,
We
let's
live, baby.
go.
What's
Happy
happening?
Love.
holidays. Championship
Let's
week.
go.
Good morning, fantasy, baby.
Let's go,
Let's
baby.
Happy
Let's
go.
go.
holidays.
You
Good
know what
morning,
I'm
fantasy.
saying?
Happy
Good morning, everybody.
holidays.
Good morning, my bros, or good afternoon. I think now it's about 12 o'clock. What's happening, broskies?
Not much, man. Just
I think I might have slipped up, but
enjoying the week.
Yeah, you fucked up. So everybody out there,
100%.
we were just chatting in the chat room before we go live, and Daryl's in the championship game this week in his ESPN league with his other homies, and he started Salvin Ahmed.
Championship week. Picks him up, starts him, and Gaskins is playing.
Ugh.
But you know what it was though too? It was like even if Gaskin did place, Ahmed had about 23 carries last week. So I'm thinking they're gonna he's coming back off COVID-19, whatever. I'm thinking he's gonna get at least like some like he's gonna have minimum carries like 15 to 18, and then Ahmed also is gonna have about 15 to 18. They're gonna split the workload right down the middle. But that's not what panned out last night.
No, man. But see, you gotta this is where I think why me and Jordan would cheese at you because Ahmed and these guys that are that play for the Dolphins, they didn't get playing time out of skill, bro. The reason these guys got playing time is because of injury and COVID. So it was just always the next guy up. But as soon as Gaskin wasn't hurt, he was gone because of COVID-19. At least the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But he's definitely the best back there. Like I think he looks better than Breida and everybody. Like he's been he's been the guy there. So it was just 100%. A matter of as soon as he can come back from COVID, it's his job. You know what I mean? And Ahmed has been a cool story.
Yeah, 100%.
But he wasn't even like a high draft pick or anything. He was like they picked him up off the streets, bro, off the practice squad. And again, he played because they had no running backs. Breida was hurt. They let Jordan Howard go. And obviously Gaskin, I think, was hurt. I think when Ahmed got going. So yeah, bro, I can't believe you did that. Even we were chatting about it on Friday, I think, whatever day it was. And we were like, bro, don't pick him up because Gaskin's going to play. Yeah. Don't pick him up because Gaskin's going to play. Like, bro, you were better off going Hansen as a dart throw, because he's probably going to get, I'd say, at least 6 to 8 targets today, and one of them might be a touchdown. What'd you say?
100%. Oh, he's going to have a big game today, 100%. Because Waller had a big game last night.
Yeah.
Jason Sanders had a big game last night. Right?
Yeah.
And then Ahmed, whatever his name is. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Are those guys pronouncing his name correctly, or was I just hearing something, man?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It might be Ahmed. It might just be Ahmed. I don't really know.
Regardless, you shouldn't have fucking started him.
Yeah. So with that major potential week losing mistake, though, are you still in a good spot though?
Oh, 100%. I'm still because he had Josh Jacobs, and he put up a dud last night.
Yeah, he didn't score.
So,
I bet he was cheesed when he knelt that 1 yard line. Oof.
Yeah, that gave me an opportunity. If he had scored that touchdown, then I would have been down and out because my kicker put up 15 points. Waller put up 14, and then Ahmed, he kind of I didn't even know why I started him. But even when I was watching the game, man, there were some holes that Gaskin was hitting that Ahmed could have hit. Ahmed's vision was not as clear as Gaskin's. Ahmed was missing some clear-cut holes, man. I'm sorry, Ahmed.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It wasn't a week to have him, man. And it's crazy because a lot of people put in claims for, Ahmed potentially put in claims for Mariota. And dude, these guys didn't even really play. But that's where to talk fantasy strategy, man, that's where, dude, you gotta when you know you're gonna win your week. Like I knew I was winning my week pretty early last week. So dude, I picked up Jeff Wilson, Tony Pollard, another defense all last week before I had to try to get him in waivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told a buddy of mine that I talk to all the time, and I told you guys that if I can get past week 14, I have a good shot at winning the championship. At this point, to be honest with you guys, even if I played your two teams, I still have a chance even to beat y'all's two Titan teams because Evans obviously snapped, but I knew the matchups I have going in, dude, like I have championship, I have week winning matchups. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. I was just saying,
no, I'm just saying.
Your team right now it's playing well. It's showing up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do. And that's what you plan for.
Yeah, that's what I planned for. I was like, dude, if I can get just going in the playoffs. Because honestly, man, even though my record, wasn't great, I was second in the league in scoring. And my last month, like the last month before the playoffs started, dude, I was scoring a lot of points. I was just losing, dude. Like I was just getting scored on also, right? But that's the thing, man. So my point is that, like, bro, you gotta in the playoffs, you have to be glued to your fantasy shit, bro. Like you have to know who's hurt, who's not playing.
100.
You got to know, weather.
The most important time to pay attention.
Yeah, man. And like, dude, I can't believe you slipped on that, because like this should be coasting right now. I think you should be coasting to a championship. But that's how it is. So right now, obviously, I was sweating whenever Swift had a shit game. As soon as Stafford got hurt in that first drive of the game, bro, I was like, fuck, that's it for Swift. But Evans snapping like that saved basically my production on Saturday, man. Like
100%,
bro. But so now, I was telling Jordan before you jumped on, is I threw Giovanni Bernard in my starting lineup, which sounds crazy.
That's not a bad start.
That's the thing, though. I planned, obviously Mixon been hurt, but I planned on starting Mixon week 16 since the day we did that trade, pretty much. Because I was like, yo, if I get to the championship, I love Mixon's final month of the playoff, man. That playoff run, his championship, Houston, just weak ass teams, right? Outside of Pittsburgh. So I was like, you know what, man? I was talking to Jordan, and for everybody out there, I was like, all right, who has a? Because right now, either I had a choice of J.K. Dobbins. I fucked up and dropped Jeff Wilson last night, thinking he was gonna split carries with like Tevin Coleman, McKinnon. Bro, he ate last night, but it couldn't have been a better finish to my fantasy year, because every time I drop a player, they snap. It just was fitting. You know what I mean? Puts up 27 fantasy points, dropped him. I could have started him. But I was talking to Jordan. I said, all right, who has a better chance at like a 20-plus yarder, maybe with a touchdown? Is it Bernard or is it J.K. Dobbins? And that's where I was like, dude, I think it's Bernard, man. I think Bernard has a better chance at a long run and a touchdown, like combined, versus Dobbins. Because I think Dobbins will get 15 touches. But
I think Dobbins gets in the end zone. I think Dobbins, honestly, truthfully, scores one touchdown today, and he gives you 12 points, maybe 13, 14 on a high note.
Right.
I don't think he gets two. If he gets in there twice, unlucky for you not starting him. But that's truthfully what I feel. I do feel like you could have a higher upside with Giovanni Bernard. They're gonna. I truthfully feel that way, but I've been wrong. I'm not in the finals, so
of course we've seen weird things happen, right? Because I mean, I feel like in week 16, at this point we know what defenses are. Are they good against the run? Are they good against the pass? Or are they just shit overall? Sure. One thing we do know is that the Texans are pretty shit overall on both sides, or not both sides of the ball, because they're really good on offense. Really, it's just Watson. That team's amazing. But at the end of the day, dude, the Texans are terrible against the run. They've given up the second most fantasy points to running backs, and they've also given up, I think, they're number one against. They've given up the most touchdowns to running backs. So I feel like at least the logic that I have, if I was like in Cincinnati, is that we don't really have a good quarterback, and we ran the ball like 40 times against Pittsburgh, and we beat them. And now we're going against like literally the second worst rush defense. They're just behind the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys number one as in worstness, and then the Texans. I feel like at this point, it's like, why would they not repeat the same formula, but against an even worse football team that doesn't have as much of a stout defense? Like, I hope they don't try to get cute and throw the ball 30 times, because then I'm fucked at that point. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And then the other side of it that made it a little risky for me to throw Bernard in is obviously, if because they know they're going to run the ball a lot, is Samaje Perine going to be 10, 15 carries? But I don't know. To me, it's the Bernard show. And I think my bold prediction, man, is I think he's going to help me bring the championship in, man. I think between Dobbins and Bernard, I was like, I need 20 points out of my RB2 spot today. I think Bernard gives me that better shot, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I'm crazy, or should I went Dobbins? Like, what do you guys think?
I think it's tough. No. Go ahead, Joe.
No, because even with myself in my ESPN league, I had a claim in for Giovanni not just because of this week, because of Houston, and also that's how I ended up with Ahmed because I lost the claim and then I put it in for Giovanni Bernard, right? But just because the game he had against Pittsburgh, he had about 23 fantasy points. This week he's going up against a way weaker on defense, so I'm thinking he's going to have probably the same output plus even better. right? So I definitely don't think that. I definitely don't think that you are out of your mind by starting Giovanni Bernard. I think that's he's he's the dark horse in your starting lineup. So I think he could definitely win you this. He could definitely win you this championship week.
For sure. Jordan, what do you think about that question we got from Austin McBurney on YouTube? What do you guys think about that?
Hamstring and AJ Brown's ankles. Start Gio Bernard, Hilton, Corey Davis over either.
Ooh, so Robinson's out. Like he was actually ruled out last night. Which is I like when teams do that. Like they give you pretty much a full 24 hours to go pick up some some free agents. And if you're keen on your league, waiting for news, I wouldn't go any of those backup running backs right now in Jacksonville. Just me personally, because I mean Chicago's they're not a bad team. Their defense is a lot better than that record shows, to be honest with you.
It's their offense.
It's their offense has put that defense in a really bad positions all year, and I think that's why the record is what it is. Yeah. But that defense, man, like I think the first about the first 6 weeks of the season, bro, Chicago was like, yo, this team's the real deal, right? So for me, I go Bernard.
I'm going to Allen Robinson's playing. Worry about his hamstring all you want. He wouldn't be playing if it was an issue. To me, in my eyes.
What do you guys think about AJ Brown? He's thinking about AJ Brown too.
I'm going Allen Robinson. AJ Brown's going to get Jair Alexander all day. I think I'm going Allen Robinson, man. I think against Jacksonville, you have to. That's the best matchup there.
Is he saying Allen Robinson or is he saying James Robinson?
Oh, James Robinson. Oh.
I don't know. James he just says Robinson.
I thought Allen Robinson is what I thought he meant, but
maybe that's what he means because
I was thinking Allen Robinson also.
Does Allen Robinson have a bad hammy? Let's see.
I thought he did.
He might. I'll pull it up right now. But also too, what do you guys think about Corey Davis? I would sit Hilton this week for sure.
Robinson's too. So James Robinson's out though. That's why I don't know why he would be considering him. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, yeah, he said Allen Robinson. Yeah, dude. Honestly, for me,
I'm going Allen Robinson against Jacksonville. I think you have to. If he's playing, he's good enough to play.
Yep.
They're trying to push for the playoffs here. I don't think they're going to play him if he's hurt. I'm going him. He's the best matchup. Hilton's got Pittsburgh. Corey Davis has got Green Bay as well. AJ Brown's got Green Bay, which is that's a tough defense. They may get into a shootout, so they may get the receptions. It depends on PPR as well. If this guy's in a PPR league, but I think Robinson's your best.
Yeah, I would go Allen Robinson too. And and this is the crazy thing, man. This is where you gotta be careful sometimes with fantasy because Corey Davis had a really good week last week, but it was only on like 3 catches, man. If he doesn't catch that long one, he has another shit day. And that's why I've been telling you guys. I know we called our shot on that Corey Davis snap 4 weeks ago. But since then, though, man, I don't think he gets enough work in that offense to be a viable starter every week. Like, yeah, if you got to pivot to him and you got nothing better, in your waiver, okay, cool. But yeah, I would go. I think an Allen Robinson against Jacksonville. Yeah, like if he's playing, I'd rather take a chance on that because I know he's gonna get 10 targets minimum. Versus Corey Davis, man. Green Bay does have an amazing secondary. It's their rush defense is kind of suspect. Giovanni Bernard. I mean, dude, if I had Allen Robinson, like if it was for a flex, if I had Allen Robinson or Gio, I'm going Allen Robinson for sure.
You got to think too. Tennessee is not stupid. Okay, Mike Vrabel is not stupid. He knows a proper way to beat Green Bay is by
running the ball.
Henry.
That's right.
Just feeding him because that's how teams have beaten Green Bay is because they've gotten destroyed in the run, and that's how they're gonna get them. And you may get the odd play action. AJ Brown could get 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Obviously that shit happens, but I think your best option's Allen Robinson.
No, I agree, man. I agree, big time. It's just at this point you're in the championship game. You've got to go based on like who do I know for sure is going to get the work, man. At least the opportunity, because when it comes to receivers and running backs, it's all about touches, man. Mm-hmm. Even when I was looking at Dobbins versus Bernard, Dobbins, I know I can count on 13 to 15 carries, like for sure touches. But one thing I felt like with Bernard, at least this week, is why I decided to go Bernard over.
He's going to get minimum 20.
That's what I think too. I think he gets 15 to maybe 16, 17 rushes, but I also think he'll catch 3 or 4 out of the backfield. And at the end of the day, that's the best you can do, man, is with these guys, especially these scat backs like a Bernard, you know what I mean? Look at David Johnson. The surprising thing, David Johnson's been I know he's not in this conversation, but David Johnson's been so sneaky because he gets the work. You know what I mean? Yeah, he might not kill it in the rushing, but he caught, like, I think last week, like 10 passes. And that's what you want to bank on, especially on a flex or any receiver, really, is like who's going to get the work, man. And I think Allen Robinson will get that work if he's playing. But obviously stay close to your phone, Austin, man, because if they rule him out just before the game, get ready for your pivot. And if you do have to pivot, I go Bernard over Corey Davis and Hilton, man. That'd be like my quick hitter on that situation. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard for me to trust Bernard.
It is.
I think for me personally, I'm Allen Robinson.
The only reason.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing I see with Giovanni Bernard is when it comes to the red zone on touches, because Finley, as we saw last week, he also likes running the rock, right? So what if they get to the red zone and Finley's taking it in? It's like a QB option, and he keeps instead of actually giving it to Bernard. So we saw some of that last week, but and also Bernard was able to sneak in 2 touchdowns in last week. But we'll see how it plays out this week. So it's definitely a toss up. Giovanni could definitely boom for 24 or have a subpar game. It all depends on quarterback play of Finley.
He's had like 5 or 6 subpar games, and then he boomed against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
but I might think that's a one-off, bro. I actually, truthfully, I'm going to throw maybe another one at you. I think Ogunbowale might be a better start than Giovanni Bernard
against Chicago. I don't trust that offense, man.
I don't either.
Against Chicago,
I think he's going to get the work. I think he might be a better start. Giovanni Bernard scares the fuck out of me.
You're right, but
I also think you're in a good spot because you have Mike Evans that you can play with that position.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. I think Mike Evans scoring 40 fantasy points is the only reason why I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me just go with my gut feeling that Bernard's going to score more fantasy points than Dobbins. And it's crazy because if you look at like rankings, everybody's got ranked Dobbins like top 10 and like Bernard's in the 20, but that's just rankings before the weeks go. Dude, at this point, like I said, man, I think you got to go based on what you see, because I think as fantasy players, we get really, at least for me, I dive into like the numbers and this and that. But dude, Houston, that's my team, H-Town forever. But like they are so bad against running backs. I'm willing to take that gamble, man. And dude, Mike's right. As far as he mentioned earlier too, that the Giants aren't very good against the run either. But the Giants, the last I'd say 5-6 games have looked good on defense overall, man. Like they're a lot better than their record is too. Yeah, man, for sure. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I'd rather take a chance on a guy that should get 15 to 20 looks against the second worst rush defense in the whole league versus, a Giants team that seems to be playing better. And I think it's going to be the Lamar Jackson show today. I think, Gus. And then also, too, I'm looking at who's going to take work from Dobbins. Gus Edwards might get 10 carries. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just, like I was saying before, it's about touches for me in this position this week. And I think Bernard's going to get 20, man. And I'm hoping out of those 20, he gets 20 points. And when I looked at all his best games, it was games where he got more than 12 touches. Like the games where he scored like 6 points, 8 points. Dude, he got like 3 rushes, 4 rushes, because they were trying out this Perrine guy. Why? I don't fucking know. And then remember Bernard fumbled early in one game and then they benched him for the whole game. Like, that's so stupid. Like, hey, that's going to make him want to play better, right? Like, I don't know, dude. So I would still go Bernard for the touches. There's another one, man. Allen or Hurts, man. This is a big one, y'all. This is because I have Hurts on my bench too, man. But what do you guys think? Go in on that. Who do you guys start? Allen or Hurts?
Allen all day.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'm definitely going Josh Allen for sure.
I mean, Hurts is proved me wrong. I always thought he was a good quarterback. I just didn't think that Philly was that good. But he's putting them on the back and actually making them win. But you got to go Josh Allen, man.
Yeah,
against New England.
You can't.
Yeah, no Stephon Gilmore. So
it doesn't matter.
100%. So
Josh Allen continuously does what Hurts does, but better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Josh Allen's being said, balling.
Even that being said, that Buffalo Bills team, they hardly ever run the ball, so it doesn't really matter if it's a strong pass defense. It doesn't really matter. They're going to throw that ball. So Josh Allen is going to throw that rock.
If they run the ball, Josh Allen's running the ball.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think Josh Allen's going to get the work. You know what scares me about Hurts? Because, dude, I have Lamar Jackson. Hey, Austin, I have Lamar Jackson, and I drafted him 3rd round, man, and he's been pretty shit for me all year outside of the last month, where he's playing like Lamar Jackson does. He looks more comfortable. He looks like the Lamar from last year again, and I picked up Hurts too because I've legit thought about starting Hurts over Lamar. And even if we look at rankings, I mean, it's like Hurts at 4, Lamar is bouncing between 5 and 6. So they're at this point, it's like, and then Allen, I think is like, I think the top 10, even top 5, I think it's like Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, they're like 1 and 2. I think Allen is like 3, and then Hurts, and then Lamar. So I would go. So to answer the question for like Allen or Hurts for me, so I'll tell you why I went Lamar and why maybe this might answer your question for Allen or Hurts is because Hurts has been pretty amazing and he could be a league winner, no doubt about that. But he's also a rookie, man. And like the last thing I wanted to gamble on is what if he just has one of those days that rookies have, man, where it's just he's making a lot of mistakes, he's trying too hard. It's against the Dallas Cowboys, and I know the Cowboys are really bad on defense. It is a division, and that's another reason. Good call, Daryl. It's a divisional matchup, bro. Look at that game last night between Arizona and San Francisco. Sometimes divisional matchups are or most of the time, honestly, divisional matchups never go the way you think they are because these teams see each other all the time. They're in the locker rooms, and the goal is to beat those teams. Like even look at the NFC East this year. Dude, all those teams have losing records, but if you can at least win your division, you're going to get in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So teams go at each other really, really hard because they understand the value and the importance to try to make the playoffs is you got to start with winning your division. So that's what made me go, you know what? I know the Giants have been playing really good against, quarterbacks, but I just feel like I'd rather bank on this third-year guy that I know the work is going to go through. Like, I know Lamar is going to do the work. It's there. I don't think they're going to run the ball, 50 times to win this game. I think Lamar will run this bitch 10 times. So I just feel like Josh Allen has been too good all year to not start him. You know what I mean? So I go Josh Allen over Hurts because I can't. I'd rather not take a divisional matchup risk with a rookie. As great he has been, and on paper, everything on paper says start Hurts, to be honest with you guys, for everybody. Go ahead, Daryl. Go ahead.
Yeah, so even with that being said, I have Josh Allen, right? So I've had him in my starting lineup every single week, apart from that one bye week, except for his bye week. With Josh Allen, he's going to give you minimum. His floor is 20 points, right? Yep. And then with Jalen Hurts, it's like you don't really know. We've seen him in 3 games. He's put up astronomical numbers, but now this season is now the pressure is on. Now this is a pressure game as a rookie. Pressure games. Some of those things that were there like 2-3 weeks ago aren't going to be there. The Dallas Cowboys, they're also for a playoff run. So that defense, the defensive intensity is going to be higher than it was the last couple of weeks. Plus, on top of that, it's a divisional matchup. So I'm thinking as a rookie, they're going to be some of those tendencies that you had back. Some of your tendencies, the Dallas Cowboys have already stuck. They have like 3 games of footage now for them to study. Right, so for me personally, that's one reason why I would stay away from Jalen Hurts, because the division matchup, that Dallas Cowboys defense have actually looked good in the last couple of games.
They're making plays. I mean, they're giving up points, but I think 4 turnovers last week. That's pretty good, man. Plays. Yeah.
For turnovers. So definitely, man. Jalen Hurts. Another reason why I won't start him is because the cat that I'm going up against in my leagues is starting Jalen Hurts. So I'm hoping he puts up a dud. So I could be a little bit biased, but as a fantasy GM, coming into this week, if I do have Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, I'm going with the profession. Well, I'm going with the veteran.
Yeah, I'm with y'all, man. I'm with y'all. What do you think, Jordan? I'm at the same idea, huh? But
I've said it from the start. Hurts is a poor man's Allen in my eyes. Like, Allen is Hurts 10 times better. I don't think you cannot start Allen. I think Allen is an every week starter. Doesn't matter the matchup because of what he can do with his feet and because what he can do with his arm. He can throw for 2 touchdowns and run for 2 touchdowns. Just all of that. Buffalo is a better team in general than Philly. You don't know what you're going to get from Hurts week in, week out. You know exactly what you're getting from Allen every single week. I even on a bad week, I think he puts up, at least 20 points, like you said. So I think I'm going Allen all day long.
Yeah, I think so too, man. It's
100%.
He's been too good to ignore, and I know Jalen Hurts has been this shiny new, car that is helping a lot of people get through the playoffs, man. You know what though? If you are in need of a dart throw, so let's just say, let me give y'all one more scenario, and hopefully this isn't fucking make it worse decision for Austin, but let's say for sure, like I know Allen's gonna have a good game, because this was my thought process too. Why I'm gonna throw it out there, you guys, is that like I know Lamar's gonna have a good game, and let's just say I also feel like Hurts is gonna have a good game. But like and let's just say you were in like a tight matchup and you need a player, you need a boom. You know what I mean? Like you need a fucking extra boom. Like Mike Evans was my extra boom, and I'm so glad I didn't trade him, even though I thought about it kind of all year when he was kind of playing, mediocre here and there. But you need a boom, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, Josh Allen might have a good game, but he scores, let's just say 29 fantasy points, which is really good. But like Hurts could have one of those like 35, 36, 38 point fantasy games today if he gets like 2 rushing touchdowns, throws for like, 302.
He could. That Dallas defense has been proven to be shitty enough to allow quarterbacks to do that.
100%. Like 100%. So, I mean, if you're like in a position like that, because that's the only reason I thought about doing, starting Hurts over Lamar, because I think Lamar will score, 25 to 28, I think today. But I'm like, dude, Hurts might score like 35. And if you're in a tight matchup, dude, those extra 10 points could be the difference between winning and losing.
I might start Hurts over Lamar.
100%.
Yeah? Why? Tell me why.
For the reason that you just said. Giants defense is good, bro.
Oh, I know they're good.
I don't care what anyone says. Their offense is the reason that they're shit.
Yeah.
Defense is good. So for that reason, in Baltimore is very one-dimensional.
They are.
I don't think you can go wrong with either or. Obviously, being the finals, you want to go Lamar Jackson, but I don't think you can go wrong going Hurts, because I think Hurts still gives you 18 points, if not more.
Yeah, I think so too. But check out what the final straw came down to me was why I decided to go Lamar over Hurts is because the Giants because the Giants offense is so bad. I think they turned the ball over 2 times today, and we get like Lamar Jackson in a very, very favorable, field position, and he either throws a dart to Mark Andrews or he runs one in. I feel like he's going to get more red zone opportunity, easier red zone opportunity. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Like, he scores me 25, because that's the thing. Like, I'm in a really good spot right now in my week with that Mike Evans boom. And then obviously Justin Jefferson saving his fantasy day in that 4th quarter. Swift somehow got to 10 points. I was like, fuck, man, because he was at like 5-6 points like the whole game, and then he caught a couple catches in the fourth quarter. But now that I had that Evans boom, and we mentioned before, it gives me a little bit more liberty to be maybe a little bit more flexible in my lineup. I don't need 40 points out of my quarterback this week. I don't need 35. I need at least 25. You know what I mean? And I feel Lamar's floor this week is 25 points versus Hurts he's a rookie. And like we just talked about, same thing. He's a rookie in a divisional matchup in a huge game for both teams. They both have to win this game to stay in the hunt. He could be shit. He could have a lot of turnovers today, y'all.
What do
you think, bro?
I think at this point, it all depends. It all depends on what you need as a GM, what your team needs. If you believe that your team needs that big player for this week, I would definitely go Hurts, because we've seen in the last couple of weeks he's put up minimum 30 points each game. So if you think that you need that 30 points from your quarterback position, I might take the risk and start Jalen Hurts. But if I know that I'm good with my lineup or whatsoever like that, my quarterback position is okay, I will definitely go with a for sure veteran who would have to go with Jalen Hurts, and his game could go either way. But with Josh Allen, we know he's going to give you a minimum 20 points, right? So it all depends who you have on your team. If you like you said, you have Evans, so you don't really. He already gave you that big play that you needed. right? That big points game that you needed. So your quarterback position, you're okay with Lamar giving you 20 points because you don't really need X amount of points to win because you know that Mike Evans has carried you for the duration of the week. So it all depends who
they got
you
me
have
through
on
the
your
Saturday,
squad.
Friday, and Saturday
your
games
other
for
players
sure,
have pretty much. Yes, let's just say now your other players have pretty weak matchups. Jalen Hurts, he might help you propel your week because he has a pretty good matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. He might
great
put
matchup.
up 30 points, but then again, it's a divisional matchup. He might put up a dud as a rookie. So
I'm
it all
thinking
depends.
about throwing him in, y'all,
But
because I have the room to do it, and I almost want to put him in to just maybe call the shot, that he scores 30 fantasy points today. But then I'm like, don't be cheeky. It's a championship game, and you can't take your opponent that lightly because I think my opponent's matchups are really tough, man. I don't think DK is going to go off. Let's segue into that real quick, y'all, because we got DK Metcalf. The last time we played the Rams, 4 fantasy points, dude, against Jalen Ramsey. He's also got Smith-Schuster, who is just, dude, Pittsburgh is shit. So what do you guys think about my opponent's 2 receivers, man? What do you guys think they're going to do?
Your opponent shouldn't be there.
No, but he is.
Yeah, so
I think
it's funny. It's funny that you say that.
He's got the NFL Network connection right now, bro. It's lagging. Yeah. Wait, give it 2 seconds.
Yeah, so even with myself, so my opponent, I'm going up in the finals right now. Yeah, I'm lagging bad.
It's okay, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just saying, like, even my opponent right now, also he also has DK and Luckett going up against that Rams defense. So it's like I am okay with that matchup this week, just because that's why I'm not really worried that Ahmed gave me 0.8 points just because of that matchup. His 2 best players are going up against a pretty stout defense, and that Rams defense has been on for the last like 6 games. In the last 6 games, they've had the defense has scored 3 touchdowns, right? So with this game, with Jalen Ramsey and the boys in the secondary, especially with those 2 receivers coming in thinking that they're hot shit, Jalen Ramsey is gonna put it to them, right? Even look, the way I'm gonna compare this game is Arizona versus the Rams a couple of weeks ago, right? The Rams were able to lock down D-Hop, and they were blitzing. And you have Aaron Donald and the boys just blitzing Kyler Murray, right? So now it's like you have to give or take. So you can try and beat us by the run, and you're going to try and beat us with the pass. But at the end of the day, though, you have DK Metcalf, who's a bona fide superstar, and Ty Lockett, who's also good for 20 to 30 points. So
I don't think DK has a great game. I think DK puts up under 10 points today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Lockett with more opportunity this week.
I think DK puts up under 10 points today, maybe at a high note 15. But yeah, I think that's all he's getting. I don't think Juju's going to have that great of a game either.
No.
I think the way Juju does.
Look what he did last game.
I don't think it's going to happen. But I do have LA winning this game. I think LA is going to beat Seattle today. I think LA got
100%
really changed things after losing to the Jets last week. I don't see how you can't come out trying to win. I don't see how you can't come out and win this game after losing to the Jets last week. So for that reason, I'm not DK Metcalf. Obviously, you have to start DK Metcalf, but I just don't think he's going to have a great game.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's a possibility, and the other side of it too, because I know these guys are competitors, and I'm pretty sure DK, Russell, and all these guys know that he had a shit game the last time they played. So there's also that factor too, because that superstar factor that happens, man. Like some guys are just matchup proof. I know DK has been great, but he hasn't proved that he's matchup proof yet this year. I just think he's not there in his career yet. But you never know, man. It could be one of those things where maybe even the coaching staff does a little bit more creative stuff to try to get Jalen Ramsey off of him a bit. Because if it was me, dude, DK is such he's such an athlete, man. Like I would try to get him the ball into unnatural positions because he's a wide receiver 1, so he runs routes. Dude, I would throw bubble screens to him this game. Like I would try to get him the ball because we've seen how he can break a tackle, his stiff arm. Like, he's such a big dude that I would be like, you know what, fuck that. If Jalen Ramsey is going to be really good coverage on him, let me see if I can get him on short slants, bubble screens, like just little things to get him going, get Jalen Ramsey almost tired from all the work, and then try to hit him over the top. That's what I would do when I have an athlete like that. But I know we're not like NFL coaches or whatever, and I know it's super easy for us to say that, but like, how many times have we seen good teams do that? Just get the ball into your best player's hands and watch shit happen. Like, dude, how many times have we seen Randy Moss? Dude, as much as everybody knows that, he's one of those over top guys, how many times have you seen Randy Moss take a bubble screen to the house or for like a 40, 50 yarder? Because he's so fast, no one can guard him. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That's where DK, I think, is going to have a mediocre game. But there is that danger, though. I think you don't not start him. I'm not saying don't start him. But I think he does have a mediocre. I'm hoping that it's a mediocre game because I'm going against him this week in my championship week. But I think you're right. I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's going to be the Lockett show this week, to be honest with you. I think Lockett will get some pretty good looks this week. And I'll go ahead and say it. I think Lockett scores over 20 fantasy points today. And DK, maybe I'd go 12 to 15. But that'd be like my prediction on that matchup as far as wide receivers, though. Like, I'm curious, like, what did Lockett score last week, man? I'm going to take or last time they played the Rams.
I don't remember. They only put up, I think, 16 or 17 points. They didn't do too well, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. He the last time they played, he scored 12 fantasy points. So he had 9 targets, 5 for 66. Yeah, man. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens today. I think they go ahead, bro. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think whoever has to start, one of them, it's tough to not start them. But I don't think they're gonna have that great of games. So I'm hoping that whoever has one of those guys had Kamara and Evans. Because if you had Kamara and Evans, you're more than likely going to win your fantasy matchup this week.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Kamara put up 56 points, bro. Like
56.
That's 6 touchdowns. Should have had 7.
6
I don't know why they gave that shit to Taysom. They should have gave him the fucking
100%. He should have.
But I had him, and if I didn't lose that damn fucking first week, I would have been in the finals and won that. So, anyway.
It's tough, man. It's really tough. And for everybody out there, like, I mean, dude, Jordan's team is stacked. And so is Daryl's. I knew if I had to play them early in the playoffs, it would have been really tough for me to win those matchups. But that's how it happens, man. I think, I was talking to one of my buddies, and this was probably back in like week 10. I was talking to him about just fantasy football. And I told him, I was like, dude, I've been looking at, matchups week 14, week 15. And he was like, dude, you look that far. Like, I just kind of planned the week. I'm like, you have to, man, because you got to plan to win. I think that at the end of the day, you got to plan like, I'm going to be there in the playoffs. I'm going to be there. And I think those that look at, you plan ahead and you look at your shit moving forward. I think if you can get to the playoffs and you get past that first week, dude, if you played your cards right, I think that's why I'm in the position that I'm in. The only reason I'm in championship game, I think, is because I knew it. If I can get past that number three in our league, I was like, dude, I can make a run, Mm-hmm. And like I told you guys just now, even if I had to play your two teams this deep in the finals or in the playoffs, I feel like I have a shot, because I knew it, man. I knew I was going to have somebody snap. Calvin Ridley's carried me the last 2 weeks, and I know he doesn't have a very good matchup. Which, let's get into that, because it's Kansas City, Atlanta, you guys. That's a lot of people in championship weeks this week also have Calvin Ridley in their starting lineups. And it's Calvin Ridley's, I think, one of his worst matchups of the year, because Kansas City has a really good secondary. You got Tyrann Mathieu out there. And it's funny because I feel like Kansas City's cornerbacks, they're actually really good, but nobody ever talks about them. Everybody talks about Xavier Howard and Stephon Gilmore. But those guys in Kansas City, as a unit, like a second, the unit together, they might not have any superstar DBs outside of Tyrann Mathieu, but as a unit, bro, they are really, really tough to throw on, man. What do you guys think? Give me an over under. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a blowout? What do you guys think Calvin Ridley's going to do? What is Kelsey going to do? Who's other receiver? What do you guys think? You think Russell Gage is a good flex start? Give me another name. Tyreek Hill. What do you guys think those guys are going to do this week?
I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a shootout, both teams, man. Especially with Kansas City. We know that they're gonna put up points, right? So even Matt Ryan, even though he's not Matt Ryan of the past, we know Matt Ryan can definitely put up points with the best of them, especially with Calvin Ridley. He's a speedster, so he's gonna have I believe he's gonna have a big game today because he's the only weapon that they really have out there. Especially, is Julio playing today?
Nope, he's out.
So right now, he's gonna get majority of the targets. I say he puts up over 100 yards this game and also and catches one touchdown. So I think he's gonna have a big game this week. Especially like you said, man. The last couple of weeks he's been looking good. So if it doesn't hurt, if it's not break, don't fix it, right? So I think he's gonna keep going with what's working right now, especially with Gurley. As of right now, he's RB2 over there. He's not even the guy over there no more, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I was in a pickle. That's why and started Ahmed. With two of their main weapons not playing and also one taking a back seat. So Calvin Ridley is their guy. He's all in this week. And also Tyreek Hill and Kelce, we know what those guys are going to put up. No questions asked. They're going to give you minimum 15 points a game. Even with Kelce, man, this guy can catch five balls a game. But it's going to be five reception for over 100 yards. He doesn't. Calvin really is not a high. It's not a high volume guy because he can do damage with minimal touches, right? So that's one thing about Kelce. That's one thing I really love about Kelce because he can put up so much damage without needing the rock in his head. Same thing with Tyreek Hill, man.
Tyreek Hill too.
Give him two catches a game.
I 100% agree.
He can give him 100%. So you can give him 2 touches a game. That's one touch a touchdown, and one's like an 80-yard bump. So with the receivers coming into the game, I believe that you can't go wrong with starting any receivers versus KC.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say I don't think you can go wrong with starting anybody in that category. I don't think you can go wrong starting Matt Ryan. I don't think you can go wrong starting, obviously, Mahomes, Hill, Gage. I would flex him, to be honest with you. But I think every single one of those people put up over 15, 20 fantasy points.
Yeah.
And the over-under-wise, depending on what you're giving me here, I think that it's going to be a shootout, but I don't know how big of a shootout. But receptions-wise, in a PPR league, I think each one of them put up about 15 to 20 points, if not more.
Yeah, and this is thing too, same thing that I've kind of used as my kind of internal strategies. I do also like to look at storylines. Storylines in the NFL, what's happening, what records are on the line. One thing I love about Andy Reid is that he is definitely a player. He's a player's coach, right? And if a player is close to a record, whatever, I really believe if Andy Reid was the coach of New Orleans, Kamara scoring 8 fucking touchdowns and taking that record, bro, 100%. Taking it. And I know, I remember even Troy Aikman was what's the New Orleans coach name again? He was even, Sean Payton is the same thing. You'd believe, because I heard him saying, he was like, Sean Payton, he knows the record is, and he's going to put Kamara in. He fucking took him out when they're on the 1 yard line. Dude. I'm like, dude, give him that touchdown. It's almost like, did somebody tell him, hey, by the way, Kamara's 1 away from tying the record. Why not fucking be like, oh, shit, Kamara, dude, we can get him the record this game. It's a game where, dude, that's the game to do it. You know what I mean? And I know, it's funny because, Kamara and them are going to be like, we won the game. I get it, blah, blah, blah. And that's really it's all about. But fuck that, man. That game, Kamara, if I was his coach, I'd be like, yo, you're getting 8 today. Let's just say on that Taysom Hill run, he at least ties the record. And I'm like, oh, fuck that. We're going to get you. You're going to give you the number one. We're going to give you the record now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that Kelce this year, guys, I don't think a tight end has ever led the league in receiving yards, or if it's been done, it's been a very, very, very long time. I think the storyline in this game and to finish the season is I think Andy Reid wants Kelce to hit that record. And I think Kelce's going to get hella work today because I think they want him to finish as the number ones in yards in receiving in the whole league. I think he's only 100 yards behind I think Stephon Diggs, I think, is number 1 right now, but they're both trading blows back and forth. But I really think I think Kelsey's gonna have like damn near. I'm gonna go right now about 185 and 2 touchdowns. I think Kelsey's gonna take me to the championship for sure. But I think it's not because of matchup. Because I think Patrick Mahomes wants him to get that record. I think Tyreek Hill. That team is so unified, bro, that I think they want him to do it. And I think that's gonna be the game we have today.
Mahomes wants people to break records. That's what he's all about. He's all about winning and records. You know, I 100% think that Mahomes is going to make that push. Obviously, Andy Reid too, but I think Mahomes would. To touch on the Sean Payton issue, I think Sean Payton was playing Kamara in fantasy finals, and that's why he didn't do it. He's like, all right, that's enough.
Honestly,
I gotta come back somehow because fuck else you don't do that.
Or he was flexing Taysom or something. You know what I mean?
You know, he probably had Taysom playing Kamara. So, you know what I mean?
Honestly, bro. Like that Taysom Hill touchdown was so unnecessary, man.
Go ahead, Derek.
But the way I look at it, man, it's like the old heads are always saying that their generation is better, right? So if the new generation is breaking all these records, how can they hold on to the idea that their generation is better? Right, because the older heads are always saying, "Oh, the new age of the NFL, the new age of the NBA is soft. They can't do this back in the day." But their guys in today's game, the reception records, rushing records, we're pretty much just smashing everything in our generation, right? Mm-hmm. So I just believe that it might be a conspiracy. I just believe that they're still trying to hold on to something for the future generation to see what the previous generation did. To get football or sports to where it is right now.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I really wanted Kamara to get that record, man, because dude, he's been so good for so long, and last year he was battling injury and his knee was fucked. But this year, man, he's so good. He looks better than he did 2 years ago. He looks stronger. Like, dude, I've been watching him play like all year because like I love Kamara, man. But dude, do you see how he's shrugging off tackles? Like, especially this last game, bro. He's shaking dudes off like effortlessly. Exactly, man. It's like, dude, how strong is he this year, man? Like, dude, like no one can tackle it because he's already low to the ground. Because
I saw video.
And yeah, man, it's just like, dude, he is. I just felt like, dude, it was his record to have. Get him the lucky number 7, and fucking Sean Payton took that from him, man. Like, that shit was whack. I hated it. And I'm not saying 6 is bad. Like, he's up there now. He's up there with Gale Sayers, but like. Get him the 7th one, man.
I saw a video about 2 years ago of Alvin Kamara training. So his training was him pulling a transport truck. You know what I'm saying? So that alone just goes to show his will to win and just the effort that behind the guy of Alvin Kamara. Man, he plays with effort, he's skilled, and he has heart, man. So all of that will just make you a really great football player. And he definitely deserved tying the record, which should have been broken last night.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Get back into fantasy too.
So quick question. So
go ahead, bro.
So quick. So question. So with Terry McLaurin not being in this week, is McKissick a good flex, or would you stay away from McKissick this week against Carolina?
Oh no. Go ahead, Jordan. I'd go McKissick all day, but go ahead, Jordan. What do you think?
I would obviously, it depends on who you got in your lineup, but I would go McKissick 100%. For the reason that Haskins is playing, they named him as a starter, right? And that's not a great passer. So I think they're going to make him check down a little bit more. I think McKissick's going to get a lot of the volume, especially with McLaurin out. I think there's a lot of worse options that you could go with. So I would plug him into the lineup.
Another one, bro. This is a good question. This is a good question, you guys. Let me give y'all this scenario. We know Zeke Elliott's playing because there's some players out there in championship game that need a decent flex throw. You need about 10 to 15 points out of your flex. What do you guys think about Tony Pollard? Tony Pollard, even with Zeke playing this week, do you guys think he's a legit flex play that you'd be willing to throw in on your championship roster as your flex, Tony Pollard? What do you guys think? Because one thing we know about Zeke is that he's not 100%. And one thing we also know about the head coach there, Mike McCarthy, is that he likes the type of running back Tony Pollard is. You know what I mean? The passing it, the you know what I mean? Like that's his type of running back.
I'm definitely considering it. Based off what he did last week, he was basically the reason we won the game. So he's a game changer in my eyes. I think they got to play him more. If Zeke's hurt, you want to win this game. What gives Zeke the goal lines, the tough running downs. But in my eyes, I would even play Pollard more than Zeke this game for the fact that Zeke's hurt and we got to win this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's tough
to
say. I mean, my roster, no, you know what I mean. But looking at other people's rosters and fantasy people that are in the finals, looking at Daryl like over Ahmed, would I have started Pollard? Hell, fucking yeah,
all fucking day.
You know what I mean? There's certain scenarios that I would start Pollard.
Yeah,
but yeah, I would put him in there.
Because honestly, Daryl, what do you think, bro? Do you think we'll see like a 60-40, maybe 50-50 split today between Zeke and Pollard?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a damn down the middle split this week, man. Especially with the way Pollard has been playing. With Pollard, he's playing with house money. Right, so he's a second string running back. So when he comes in the game, he's laying it all out on the line. He's still trying to prove himself, trying to prove his worth. So it doesn't really matter if he gets 60-40, 50-50, 90-10. But those touches that he gets, he's gonna make sure those touches are memorable touches, right? So even like about 2-3 weeks ago, we were saying how come McCarthy's not running the same plays for Zeke that he is for Pollard. It may be because Pollard might be a more I'm not saying he's more electric, but he just runs with more passion. From what I'm seeing, when Pollard comes in the game, he plays with a little more heart. With Zeke, sometimes he kind of looks like he's not running hard. He doesn't want to get hit or something like that. But when Pollard comes in the game, he's like, give me the ball. I'm gonna hit your linebacker. It doesn't matter who's in front of me. I'm gonna take it to the house. So with Pollard, I'm definitely gonna flex him, especially with the week that he's had and the weeks that he's had with, in the last couple of weeks. He's gonna give you, I would say, 10 points, 10 to 15 points. Nothing major, but he's gonna do something for your fantasy squad.
I agree, man. I agree, man. What do you think, Jordan?
I 100% agree with you.
You think it'd be like a 50-50 split, maybe even 60-40?
I'm thinking it's going to start off as a 50-50, and they're going to see how Zeke is. Zeke's going to get the start, 100%.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. They're going to go 50-50, maybe 60-40 Zeke first quarter, see how he is. If he looks good, he's playing well, they're going to ride him. But the way I see it is that Pollard's going to come in and be that spellback to start it off, and he's going to look real good. And they're going to be like, okay, let's start getting this guy more and more and more. I think by the end of the game, we're going to look at a 60-40 Pollard's way. And I think we walk out with the win because of it.
That's crazy. I just got an update, y'all. It is going to be a rainy game. Seattle versus the Rams. We have a 60% chance of precipitation. It's going to be cold. Let's go. What do you guys think about Darrell Henderson in this matchup versus Seattle? We have Darrell Henderson's the lead back in LA, and we have obviously Carson. What do you guys think as fantasy players, and you're the championship game, and you have maybe and high too, but you got to flex now? Well, I imagine Carson's probably your RB1 or RB2, but let's say you are in a position where you can flex Darrell Henderson, because a lot of people had Darrell Henderson on their bench for a long time, and as soon as Cam Akers went down, you plug in Henderson. Now that we know it's going to be a little rainy, obviously, same thing. I think it's going to take away from the pass game a bit. Two questions for you guys. How good do you think Darrell Henderson of a start is, and how good is a Cooper Kupp start this week? Now that we know it's already a tough matchup, both teams are really good. They both need to win, and now we got weather as an issue. What do you guys think, Jordan? I'll let you start it off, bro.
Cooper Kupp is going to eat. He's going to get targets. He always does. He's going to get the receptions. So I think you start him regardless, whether or not it's a flex or you put him in a receiver spot. Henderson's probably going to be a decent start if it's a rainy game and it is cold. He's gonna get the volume as well. What scares me is Carson, because last time they did play the Rams, they didn't really drive the ball that much. They only put up, I think, 16 points, 17 points, whatever it was. And I feel like if it's rainy and the way that things are going to go, if it's cold, depending, obviously the game's later, so things could change. But if that is the case, I think they're going to have a really tough time, Seattle, running against the Rams defense. The Rams defense is very good. Okay, obviously, the reason they lost last week was because of their offense in that first half. They beat themselves. The only reason they lost the Jets. But that being said, I truthfully think that you have to start Carson. I think you can definitely start Henderson. I think Henderson's a fine start. And I don't think, but this Carson scares me for the fact that if it is that way and they get stuck to one-dimensional run game and not being able to throw that ball very much, that Rams defense is going to come down on him a lot, and he's going to get, whether or not he gets the touches, he may not get the points. He may not get the yardage to get the points. So he does scare me, but again, there's in a fantasy league, there's not enough running backs to go around to not start Chris Carson today.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, Chris Carson for sure is a start. You have to. You're right. I think Darrell Henderson's pretty interesting, man.
I would start him too. I think with the volume he's going to get, like I said, and if even just the Seattle's defense isn't that good, man. So I think regardless, you got a good shot by starting him. You get you get at least 15 fantasy points out of him.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree for sure. I think, I think as a flex, it's really good, and it sucks too as far as Cooper Kupp. I'm starting Cooper Kupp because I feel like you have to. In against Seattle, one because he's got an okay quarterback, but I was looking at the games where Kupp did really well, and I was looking at the games when Kupp did really shitty. So he does really well when he gets at least 8 targets a game. When he's below 8 targets, when I mean dud, bro. Like he puts up hella duds, but that's not Cooper Kupp's fault. He's not dropping a lot of passes. Yeah, he'll drop 1 or 2 here and there, but he's pretty sure-handed, and he's not the stretch the field guy like Robert Woods is. But Cooper Kupp, when he gets 10 targets a game, he gets loose, man. I want to say I read a statistic the other day that I think he's like top 3 in yards after contact for wide receivers. So he breaks tackles as well. So I just feel like in this game, I'm hoping for my sake and for everybody that's playing Cooper Kupp that he gets 10 targets this game and that they're solid targets where you can get him into some space and let him create some plays. Because Cooper Kupp is that dude, man. You get him in some space, he can take a long one to the house. So that's what I'm betting on. And to kind of to go into the weather thing, like weather is kind of scary and it can really fuck up quarterbacks' games. But being the type of receiver that Cooper Kupp is, the slot guy, 5, 10, 15-yard, routes that he runs, I think most quarterbacks in the NFL can get through, no matter the weather, can get a pass, tight in that weather either way. I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a decent game. I think he'll get 10 targets. I got him getting he'll get about 75 yards today and about 8 catches, 75 yards. And I think maybe he has a shot at the end zone. I know that's a pretty bold because he wasn't nowhere near that on the first matchup. Yeah, he scored like 4 fantasy points the first time they went against this team, but it wasn't a matter of Cooper Kupp playing shitty. It was a defensive matchup, like you guys said. What's his name? Russell Wilson threw like 2 picks. He was like 22 of 37 for like 12 fantasy points, dude, and 2 interceptions. And Goff wasn't that much better that matchup either. You know what I mean? It was a grimy game. It was a defensive matchup, and it came down to the Rams making a couple more plays in the fourth quarter. But yeah, man, I think I would still go Cooper Kupp. The matchup on paper says, yeah, you should start him, but Cooper Kupp the last like 3-4 weeks says, if you have a better option, you go. But at this point, yeah, I'm starting him either way.
I don't see a lot of better options even for a flex position than Cooper Kupp. Seattle's defense isn't the Rams' defense. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like I said, Cooper Kupp's a good receiver. Goff is streaky. He had his bad game. He's probably going to have a good one this time. You know what I mean? That's the way he is. That's the way he's always been. So I put Cooper Kupp in my starting lineup. I'm putting Cooper Kupp for about 17 fantasy points today.
I like that, bro. I like that. We got a few minutes left, man. Let's go into the points, man. The points that you got to pay attention to is sometimes. Remember 2 years ago, Jordan? No, it was last year. I rode the Patriots defense for like the first 8-9 weeks, bro. They were like top 15 fantasy player was a defense last year. Just creating turnover, scoring. Which defenses you guys think this week is like that championship D that you're willing to plug in on your first, to win? And obviously, I want you guys to think about it because like most people are going to have, I think most people have they probably have the Baltimore Ravens.
The Rams, Baltimore.
They probably have the
Indiana,
Rams. So, Indianapolis. So outside of those guys in Pittsburgh, probably. Outside of those, though, what matchups do you guys like this week that you know what, man? I'm willing to start that defense this week, man. Jordan, I'll let you get it started.
I'm gonna hit people up right now with something that you may not think of, but Carolina going up against Washington, who already as an offense is suspect. You don't have McLaurin, you don't have Alex Smith, you have Haskins, who likes to throw picks, who's had a rough week, in the media, this, that, and the next, and you got the Carolina Panthers going up against their former head coach. I like Carolina in this one. I like them to put up at least 10 fantasy points. But you know what? I even see maybe a pick six coming their way too. Put them up in that 16, 17 range. They've had, the last few weeks haven't been that bad for them defensively either. And I think they're going to go ahead and get this win. And defensively, they're going to pull it out.
I love it, bro. That's a good. I like it, man. I think that's a possibility because Dwayne Haskins is terrible, man. Daryl, what's a sleeper defense out there for fantasy players that don't have those top 4 defenses available, man?
I'm gonna go with Jacksonville
against Chicago.
And this is why, especially against Chicago.
Let the guru talk. Let the guru talk.
First of all, fantasy is all about points. It doesn't really matter if the team wins or whatsoever like that. But if the defense is getting interception, recovering fumbles, and everything like that, that team's going to put up points. So I believe this game against Chicago's a very they turnover prone team. So just like how the Cowboys had a big break last week, they recovered for they had 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter, and they finished the game with total, I think, 4 or 5 recovering 5 turnovers, right? So I believe this is a game where Jacksonville get 2 interceptions from Trubisky, as well as recover a couple of fumbles and put up some points. And Chicago, we all know, isn't the best offensively, right? Even though they do have some weapons, but it's all based on the quarterback play.
Playing well,
the quarterback is having a bad game, the defense is.
Bro, since they've done change play calling. Offensively, they've been really good.
Yes,
they've been feeding Montgomery. Montgomery's numbers have skyrocketed since Nagy lost play calling. Okay,
yep.
I know that's going to be tough for me to go with on that one, man, because
I agree.
Pinsky's been balling out. Montgomery's been balling out. That Chicago Bears team has looked good. If anything, their defense has looked suspect lately. So that's I mean, I don't know. I'll give it to you, but I don't know, bro.
I'm taking that. That's my sleeper, man. That's my sleeper. I just don't believe in that Chicago offense, man.
What do you think, Tony? Go ahead.
At the end of the day, it's a.
Go ahead, Daryl. Go ahead, finish, bro.
No, I was just saying it's a game of streaks, right? So Chicago in the last couple of games they're hot, but today they're gonna meet their man Jacksonville. They have nothing to play for. They play, like I said, man. They're playing with house money, so it's gonna be all in today, man.
Yeah, I hear you, man, and I get the logic, but dude, honestly, Jacksonville. I've always paid attention to Jacksonville all year because I've been playing James Robinson, and he's been a fantasy darling for a lot of people because nobody probably drafted him, and if you did, it was probably last round because you didn't even know who he was. You just knew he was a starting running back. But most people got him on waivers, man. So honestly, dude, I've watched Jacksonville implode. Honestly, they've been so shit for the last month. They look even worse. They can't get the quarterback right. They can't protect the quarterback. James Robinson, even as great as he's been, dude, I'll tell you his numbers right now. The last 3 weeks, it hasn't been great. Yeah, he's been, getting over 10 fantasy points, but it's not been a good fantasy day because that's all they got is James Robinson. The only reason a lot of people kept starting, including myself, is because James Robinson was getting 20 touches a game. That's the only reason. And if he doesn't score that touchdown last week, he has a below 10-point day. So I've watched Jacksonville literally look worse and worse and worse as the week's gone on. So for me, it's not Jacksonville. And I have Indianapolis's defense. I picked them up about 6 weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. Not that long ago. I was like, hey.
But they're not really a sleeper, though.
No, I know. But listen, I have Indianapolis's defense. I've had him for a while, but I picked up Chicago this week on waivers because I've watched Jacksonville play so shitty, and I've seen what Jacksonville can do pressuring the quarterback, baiting quarterbacks into bad decisions. I feel like, dude, it's going to be a Chicago defense week, and I think Chicago's defense scores me at least 15 fantasy points because whether it's Gardner or anybody else, man, they're going to throw some picks. James Robinson's not there. And I think James Robinson is a special player, and he's not playing this week. And now they got to go in with these other two guys. The guy's last name starts with an O, and the other guy, but he ain't going to get all the work. Yeah, I don't think he gets all the work today, y'all, because he's normally the pass down catchy running back. So I think it's going to be a 50-50 split. So I don't know what running back's going to really have the work. And I think the other side of it, man, I think you're right. Matt Nagy, now that he's not calling the plays, Trubisky looks decent again. You know what I mean? Like, Trubisky looks decent. Jacksonville's terrible.
Montgomery's been the highlight of that change.
Of course. Right. And Montgomery is going to absolutely eat today, man. So I got Chicago's defense. I got Chicago's defense.
Too, bro. If I can just play, complete opposite to Daryl. Jacksonville, I think, at most this year has put up 11 points, I think, once this year as a defense. I actually have them in the negatives today.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think they're going to give a -2.
I agree.
Anywhere between a 0 to a -2, I think I have Jacksonville at today, because I think that Jacksonville is at their worst they've ever been all year.
Yep.
And that's today.
I agree.
Up against the Chicago's Bear team,
that's ascending.
At its best, it's been all season. So for that reason, that's what I think. But I think another sneaky defense, and I don't know if it's too late for anyone out there who's listening, and it might be a biased thing, but they've been playing better. They've been getting turnovers.
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. They need the win. Okay. Not only do they need the win, they need Washington to lose. That's fine. But the biggest thing is they need that win. Okay. The defense going up against Jalen Hurts in that offense, I think the defense is actually going to make things happen. They've proven to make things happen in the last couple of weeks. They've changed things around. I think against a rookie quarterback, the Philadelphia Eagles don't have a lot of great weapons. I think we play well. I think Cowboys defense plays well enough, to give you a decent defense for a fantasy day, maybe around anywhere between 10 points, 8 points, in that area. One person that does scare me in this matchup, guys, and he's back, is Deshaun Jackson. For some reason, he's always had the Cowboys numbers, always put up points against Cowboys, always breaking a loose play, whatever. He's finally back today, and he's playing. Just before we go off, how do you think he fares out today?
I think Deshaun Jackson catches. I'm going to go. I think he's going to be out of shape, to be honest with you, but I think he does have a decent game. But thing about Philly that's making him a little more dangerous is that they got a lot of their weapons back. That's what we thought Wentz was going to make. He was going to be back. And that's why I know they benched him, because I'm like, dude, you have no reason not to play good now because all your guys are back. Ertz, Goddard, Jeffrey, Rager, and then obviously Fulgham and the guys that Ward and the guys that popped up, when all those guys were injured. I think Deshaun Jackson catches 5 balls today for like 80 yards, but I don't think he gets in the end zone. But I think he has a good game.
Who y'all think wins?
I think you're right on with Dallas, being sneaky, but I just think Philly is ascending. Their defense is really good. I think Philly wins, man. I think so. I just think they're a little bit better than the Cowboys this year, man. But to kind of play on the fence a little bit, I won't be shocked if the Cowboys win because it is a divisional matchup. I just think Philly's got too much firepower this year, man. At least right now in this matchup to a very, very injured Cowboys as a team on both sides of the ball.
I'm going with the boys with this one, man. I just don't believe in Hurts. Not yet. It's too early for me to cash out on Hurts. I believe that this coming Sunday we're going to see Hurts calm down earth. Right. He's been hot for the last three games. They're riding a high. I believe that high is about to ascend. So I think the Cowboys today, they win. It's going to be a 30-27 kind of game. Hurts, he's gonna throw maybe a couple of interceptions. So like you guys alluded to earlier, it's a divisional matchup, so the intensity is going to be there. We have yet to see Hurts step to the podium when the intensity is this high. So we'll see. Because if both team wins, if either or team wins, then they have a clear shot of really taking that division. So this game is definitely going to be a game to watch. If bearing the records, this I think is going to be one of the hottest matchups of the week.
I agree, bros. It's definitely must-see TV, that matchup this week for sure.
425.
Let's go, bro. 425. I'm about to be glued to the TV right now anyway, but 425, man. I think it is. Yeah, game of the week. Yeah, bros, I'm with y'all. So let's do this thing, man. I just noticed Todd Gurley caught a pass for 25 yards. That's crazy. Let's go. But my brothers, man, it's always great doing these episodes. I know, bro. That's crazy. But yeah, bros.
Over. And I started Salvin Ahmed.
Oh, buddy.
That's already crazy. More points than Ahmed.
Already more points than Ahmed, bro. That's crazy. But my brothers, man, it's awesome, bro. I love that we've been doing this, for whatever weeks it's been. I'm excited to finish this week. I got to bring it home for TDP, man. It's I'm in the championship week. I think I got it, but obviously we've seen shit change in the Sunday games. So I appreciate y'all, bros. I think now this is like the last week of fantasy football. So
our last episode of fantasy football, but we will be back. We're going to be here talking regular football. We're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
We got the playoffs coming. We're going to be steady out here, still doing our sports podcast. We still got NBA fantasy.
NBA, yeah. I was going to say, we're about to jump into NBA fantasy too. So yeah, man, obviously, fantasy football's over, but the TDS crew is just getting started, baby. But for everybody out there, that's what I'm saying, bro. So yeah, man,
sports, we'll be here.
You know what I mean? But yeah, bros, let's go watch some football. I appreciate y'all, man. For everybody out there, thanks for tuning in, Austin, Mike, and whoever listens to the podcast, man. Thank you guys. But yeah, man, we'll catch you guys next week. Everybody enjoy some football. I'm signing out. It's your boy TG.
Happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. You know what I'm saying?
It's Merry Christmas, everybody out there.
You know what I'm saying?
Have a good night, everybody, or a good day. Watch some football. Let's go, Dallas. Let's go.
Have a good day.
Peace out, everybody.